Joy's journey is a lot like Riley's journey. Riley, because of how she's been parented, because of the expectations of others, she's trying to be the happy girl. She's trying to be positive, and it's just not working. Because when we focus on feeling happy no matter what, we deny what's real. And what's real is the things that matter. When we lose them, it hurts.
We were best friends.
Yeah, it's sad.
Sadness is not something negative. It's something to sit with, to express, to experience. And when we do it with somebody else, we mourn with those that mourn.
And isn't that the act of love, to not try to fix it, but to be vulnerable with them?
I miss Minnesota too.
When you have a great animator, they can almost put a little 3-act play in every shot.
This shot is one of the best pieces of animation I've ever seen. Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Alan Seawright, a professional filmmaker who needs therapy. That guy is...
Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies, and today is a very special day.
Today is a very special day. We are going to talk a little bit more about Inside Out. We've already done a therapist reacts to Inside Out, so we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to talk mainly about navigating change, which is one of the big thematic elements of the film, but I'm going to have a therapist react to the filmmakers...
What?
Of Inside Out. We have Meg LeFauve, one of the writers of Inside Out and the upcoming Inside Out 2.
Oh my gosh.
Kevin Nolting, the editor of Inside Out.
Whoa.
Picture editors on animation work for a lot longer than they do on live action. It's a whole different process. We'll get into it a little bit. And Jonas Rivera, the 4-time Academy Award-winning producer of Inside Out, WALL-E, Toy Story 3, and Up.
Damn.
The guy knows how to pick up statues. We'll put it that way.
All right.
I won first place!
Me too! Oh, participation award.
Joining us right now, Meg LeFauve, screenwriter of Inside Out 1. She's also a screenwriter on Inside Out 2, which will be coming out in a few months. Very excited to have you here. Meg, what should we know about you?
Thank you so much for having me. I love you guys. I'm a screenwriter. I wrote Inside Out and Inside Out 2 that's coming. I wrote The Good Dinosaur as well. Now, Inside Out 1, I have to say, I wrote with Josh Cooley and Pete Docter.
Yeah.
Team effort there. I'm also now doing a podcast called The Screenwriting Life. It's about craft for sure and teaching people writing, but it's mostly about emotional support.
Very cool.
It's right in my bailiwick there, The Screenwriting Life.
I have to say, I'm not surprised they brought you back for Inside Out 2, because Inside Out is one of the best written films I've ever watched. And as a therapist with a background in psychology, I know my entire community just holds it up as the movie.
No! No, you can't take my rocket to the top! Riley and I are going to the moon! Riley can't be done with me.
Hey, it's gonna be okay.
Well, we're 30 seconds in. I'm going to get emotional
We just
already.
need to get back to headquarters. Which way to the train station?
I had a whole trip planned for us.
Hey, who's ticklish, huh? Here comes the tickle monster. Hey, Bing Bong, look at this. Oh, here's a fun game. You point to the train station and we all go there. Won't that be fun? Come on, let's go to the train station.
To your point, Meg, I have been that parent.
I'm sorry they
What
took
Joy is doing. I've done that so many
They
times.
took something that you loved. It's gone. Forever.
Sadness. Don't make him feel worse.
Sorry.
It's all I had left of Riley.
I bet you and Riley had great adventures.
Oh, they were wonderful. Once we flew back in time, we had breakfast twice that day.
Sadness.
It sounds amazing. I bet Riley liked it.
Oh, she did. We were best friends.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm okay now. Come on. The train station is this way.
How did you do that?
I don't know. He was sad, so I listened to what...
Hey! there's the train.
Joy can't learn her lesson yet because screenwriting structure.
No. Exactly. And there were discussions about that.
Riley is the focus of this episode, right? It's her life that's changing. It's about her navigation.
Yeah, joy and sadness are the components of what's
They're part of
her change and her growth, right?
And they're part of Riley.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They are part of Riley, yeah.
I love this scene because this is what Riley needs.
Yes.
Joy's journey is a lot like Riley's journey. Riley, because of how she's been parented, because of the expectations of others, she's trying to be the happy girl. She's trying to be positive, and it's just not working. Because when we focus on feeling happy no matter what, we deny what's real. And what's real is the things that matter. When we lose them, it hurts. And there is a beautiful type of love that is only found in compassion, in empathy. And that type of love is only found in our sad times, in our hard times. And sadness is not something negative. We often look at it like it is.
Yeah.
But it's not something to be avoided. It's something to sit with, to express, to experience. And when we do it with somebody else, we mourn with those that mourn, right? We comfort people who need to be comforted, and that is beautiful. And Joy couldn't get it done. You
Right.
can't just cheer people up. Sometimes what they need is someone to cry with them, not someone to distract them and to make things happy.
And to sit in that vulnerable place with them and just allow it to be part of their experience. And it's acknowledging the loss.
Yeah.
And it's acknowledging the importance of that loss. And isn't that the act of love, to not try to fix it, but to be vulnerable with them?
Yeah.
And sadness is reflecting back to him what she thinks he's experiencing, so that he can say yes or no, to help him feel it even deeper. And I know as parents, sometimes we're afraid to do that because we're afraid, well, if I walk up and say to my kid, well, you're really unhappy, they're going to get really unhappy. And it's actually our feeling about being out of control that we start to do that.
Yeah.
I remember the day that Pete Docter came to me and said, I think it's sadness. I want to talk about how the saddest times in my life were the deepest connection. And I said, oh, that could change the world, Pete.
Yeah.
And he said, don't ever say that again. It's too much pressure, right? That's just too much on the story, to put on the poor story.
I love a good mystery.
Like, why is there broccoli on pizza? Ugh.
And uncovering family secrets.
Who is that dreamy Brazilian pilot, really?
And finding things.
Like Bing Bong's wagon rocket, or your missing memories.
That's why we're loving June's Journey. It's a hidden object mystery game with a murder mystery, family secrets, and more.
This episode is sponsored by June's Journey. You probably figured that out already, though, because you can solve mysteries too. June's Journey is a mobile game that is free to download. So June's Journey is super fun. You hunt for objects in like these beautiful tableaus of like this 20s upper crust Great Gatsby kind of family. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And my favorite part is you get a garden. You get to build your own garden and populate it with pheasants. I'm a simple guy. I like putting things in dirt. Not bodies. I don't like murdering people. I like
Alan,
solving
stop talking.
murder mysteries.
This is not admissible in court.
June's Journey!
Also, I like remodeling and organizing the gameplay and the beautiful, colorful visuals.
Jono, how far have you gotten in the murder mystery yet? Have you gotten to the twist?
I have, and it
Dude.
made me squeal with delight.
It was fun. It was super fun. Download June's Journey for free by clicking the link in the description.
June's Journey is available on Android and iOS mobile devices, as well as on Facebook through Facebook Games.
Don't forget to click the link below and download June's Journey today. Such an amazing bit of filmmaking craft to set up the playback system, and then a tear is what causes you to get. I mean, it's just the little details like that.
But this is something Sadness was talking about when
Dogs lost the big playoff game. Riley missed the winning shot. She felt awful. She wanted to quit.
Sadness. Mom and Dad, the team. They came to help because of sadness.
It's literally breathtaking.
We have to get back up there.
Now, those details you were talking about, that is Pete Docter. Pete Docter is a genius. He is a genius of this. And, we knew we wanted her to find the memory, and that Sadness had mentioned this as one of her favorite memories, and that this is but that being able to go back and forth and the tear, and that's all Pete Docter and the co-director, Ronnie Del Carmen, who is just a genius of evoking emotion in drawing and storytelling. So it's a beautiful, beautiful moment.
Well, and it's funny because earlier Sadness talks about this being her favorite memory, and Joy silences her, and you assume, well, this is Sadness's favorite memory because Sadness is kind of a downer. And the way Joy reacts to it, the audience follows Joy's lead, and it's like, you think it's just this bit of dark humor, right? And then you realize why this is Sadness's favorite memory, because Sadness is part of Riley. This is when Riley felt most loved.
Yes, and Sadness understands that, even though she doesn't understand it. At the beginning of the movie, she's like, why am I doing this? I don't know what's wrong. She's being driven by some higher part of Riley to help her.
This is what Riley needs. And so, the end is incredible, but the reason Joy knows to bring Sadness in to touch the memories is because of this part right here.
We saw this movie many, many times in boards of edit.
Yeah.
You just see it over and over. And these boards were drawn by Ronnie Del Carmen, so they were always very, very emotional, no matter how many times we saw the movie.
Sure.
And I will say the time that we all cried, even in edit still, Noltein may disagree, but I remember we would also cry when she hands over the core memories to Sadness, and they start to turn blue. And you're seeing these core things of Riley start to turn blue. You feel the weight of that, the loss of that, and yet how beautifully important that is for Riley, because things do become bittersweet when we leave them.
Yeah.
The reason this moment works emotionally is because you have been not ahead of Joy.
Right.
You have been with her on the journey, believing that Sadness isn't good for Riley, so that you can have this cathartic moment at the end of Act 2 of, oh, I was wrong.
Yeah.
It's a delicate thing to do as a storyteller. Act 1 is almost brainwashing you into Joy's point of view. That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong. Joy is wrong, but we have to convince you she's right.
Wow.
I don't think there's a movie that has made me cry more than this one.
Which is saying something.
That is
Well,
saying
it's about
a lot.
sadness. It's about accepting sadness. It's about accepting that vulnerable spot in you. But don't you think that that's why that episode of this show is so popular? Because it is connective?
Oh.
You guys crying makes us feel connected to you, and that we cried, and we're suddenly all one human race. We're all one human condition.
Yeah. We are joined today by Kevin Nolting, the editor of such small indie films as Up, obviously Inside Out, Soul.
Worked on Finding Nemo, worked on Cars. We are in the presence of a legend. This is good times.
We're supposed to live here?
We have
I'm telling you, it smells like something died in here.
Can you die from moving?
Guys, you're overreacting. Nobody is dying.
A dead mouse!
Great.
I'm gonna be so
What are we gonna do? We're gonna get rabies! Get off of me!
Hey, all through the drive, Dad talked about how cool our new room is. Let's go check it out.
It's gonna be great. Yes. No.
I'm starting to envy the dead mouse.
Get out the rubber ball. We're in solitary confinement.
Riley can't live here.
He's right.
The worst.
Really bad.
It's absolutely the worst.
This house
It's
stinks.
the worst place I've ever been in my entire life.
Yeah.
Hey, it's nothing our butterfly curtains couldn't fix. I read somewhere that an empty
There was a
room is an
great
opportunity.
editing specific joke there that I want to talk to you about
We'll put that
in
back
just a
there,
second.
And a desk over there.
The hockey lamp goes there. Put the chair there.
Well, the trophy collection.
The poster there. Stars! We need more
I like that.
Now we're talking. Let's go get our stuff from the moving van.
All right. Goodbye. Well, guess what? The moving van won't be here until Thursday.
You're kidding.
Contract.
That's the worst they are!
All the emotions.
Said it would be here
And
yesterday.
I know that's what I said. That's what they told me.
They're stressed out! They're stressed out.
Arlene.
What are we gonna do?
What is their problem?
I've got a great idea! Did you even read the contract? Anderson makes her move. She's closing in.
Hey. Oh, no, you're
She's
not.
lining up for the shot.
Coming behind you. Watch out.
And she
Watch out.
scores! Yeah! Grandma. Ha, Grandma. Uh-oh, she put her hair up. We're in for it. Hey, put me down.
Sorry. Hold on. Hello?
Wait,
This
Kidding.
scene just throws so much at us so fast.
The investor's supposed to show up on Thursday, not today. I gotta go.
It's okay. We get it.
You're the best. Thanks, hon. See you, sweetie.
Dad just left us.
Oh, he doesn't love us anymore. That's sad. I should drive, right? Joy,
I should drive, right?
what are you doing?
Just give me 1 second. You know what I've realized? Riley hasn't had lunch. Remember?
Hey, I saw a pizza place down the street. Maybe we could try that.
Pizza sounds delicious.
Pizza?
Yes, pizza.
That's good.
What the heck is
Who puts broccoli on pizza?
That's it. I'm done.
Congratulations, San Francisco. You've ruined pizza. First the Hawaiians, and now you.
And speaking of navigating change, I love the way this scene is edited, because you're right, it all comes at you fast, but it's coming at Riley fast.
Yep.
And so you're feeling what she's feeling. And I love seeing all of the emotions kind of wrestle over the controls as a representation that she's feeling multiple things at once. And then the bright idea, and then she plays hockey and everything, and how quickly Dad joins in on it. And it keeps everything moving, none of it feels stale, but it gives you long enough to feel the different things she's feeling. Because you could also blow by that too fast and not have the experience that Riley's having.
Kevin, from an editorial standpoint, how do you approach finding that balance of long enough to feel it without overstaying your welcome, but also, taking long enough that it doesn't feel rushed? Because you've put on a masterclass here, I gotta say.
I think we have the advantage at Pixar where we have time to work on that stuff. And actually, watching that scene, the humor got layered in later. It's like we sort of started with the basic story. We got some notes that it wasn't funny enough. And so we always start with the sort of emotional core of the story and then add the humor later. So from an editing point of view, I have the advantage of sort of working on it in stages.
I don't want to downplay the important role that Joy has played in Riley's development and also survival. The reason when all the emotions are haggling over the controls that Joy steps in is because Joy has worked.
Yeah.
Time and time again, Riley has tapped into Joy, her playfulness. Like when she's feeling gloomy, she goes, let's go look at the room. And she feels gloomy looking at the room. She says, well, let's imagine what it can look like. And Joy serves her, and it works. And this is one of the reasons why Joy keeps taking the controls, is because she has worked time and time again.
Right.
Psychologically, when we're navigating major changes, we often rely on the same skills and tools and emotions that we have in the past because they've served us. This is a story about what happens when they're no longer serving us.
Right.
When we have to broaden experientially what we lean on and what we feel so that we can be a more rounded person and so we can navigate what we're going through. Sometimes anger is what helps you navigate a situation. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's sadness, and sometimes it's joy. And what a powerful story for kids, but also for the adults who watch the movie to remember that. Integrity Island.
Honesty Island?
Oh, Honesty Island, yeah. But Riley's betraying her values, which is something that happens when we're emotionally flooded, especially with fear and sadness and grief. We want it to go away, and we'll do anything to make it go away. You lost her train of thought.
That was our way home. We lost another island. What is happening?
Haven't you heard? Riley's running away.
What?
Wait. Hang on, guys. Are we really doing this? I mean, this is serious.
Look, we have no core memories. You want Riley to be happy? Let's get back to Minnesota and make more.
You can see on her face the emotion she's feeling, yeah. When things get hard and when our routine is disrupted and our life is upended, we want a return to normalcy. So it makes sense that she would want to go home. And I love the way the film portrays emotionally what's going on with her. You can hear the emotions arguing with each other, and then you see whatever emotion's talking, you see her face afraid, remorseful, angry, and it's all just going on, and that is so cool. I mean, it's a masterpiece. And I don't use that word lightly, and I'm not blowing smoke. I watched this movie, I'm like, well, That happens maybe twice a year, 3 times a year, and usually one of them is Pixar.
Damn you, Pixar.
What is animation editing? I don't understand how you edit animation because there's not reels and reels of live action film or digital.
You're not pulling from material and cutting it down.
Yeah.
You're building up. It's almost in reverse.
But you are cutting it down too, because a scene is written in regular script form on Final Draft, and it's handed out to a story artist who essentially shoots the scene by drawing it. They don't give you any coverage. You know, they decide, okay, we'll be in a 2-shot here, then they draw a close-up. But the whole scene is covered with storyboards. And then we record the dialogue with just actors inside of Pixar. And we get those storyboards and the dialogue, and we cut those together. You have to time it all out. So you end up with a scene that essentially was shot and edited. And then we add sound effects and music. And if we want to add a shot, or we take away a lot of what they draw, but we also add some things. You know, we decide, oh, we want a 2-shot here instead of a close-up.
Editors in animation are unsung heroes.
Yeah.
They're so integral to the process.
Yeah.
I'm in awe of what animation editors do. And we're extremely excited to be joined by the producer of Inside Out, Jonas Rivera.
We're super excited to be doing this and to be re-exploring Inside Out because we both genuinely love the film.
Jonas, I know you're on the senior creative team there. What have you directly produced? Because I know you got 4 of those golden boys hanging out.
I've been a producer for a long time. So I produced Up. That was the first. I've been here since Toy Story. I mean,
weren't you a PA on Toy Story or something?
Yeah, I've been at Pixar for years. Started on Toy Story as like an intern and worked at Bug's Life. And Cars was the first time I was really in leadership. I was the production manager of that film. And then I produced Up and Inside Out and Toy Story, and I took Soul up through development, and then it was tapped by our president, Jim Morris, to be in a studio executive role. So now I head up all of production here. So I get to see everything here, which is really fun.
How about Minnesota? Can you tell us something about it? Well, you certainly get a lot more snow than we do.
She's hilarious.
Yeah, it gets pretty cold. The lake freezes over, and that's when
I like that she does a little crank and then Riley laughs like she's working.
You gotta build up that laugh energy.
Pretty much everyone in my family.
I do actually have a question about how much time was spent on the design of the console.
Every weekend.
Yeah.
Or we did till I moved away.
Hey, what gives? What? Hey, Sadness, you touched a memory? We talked about this.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Get back in your circle. What's going on?
This is obviously, like, it's funny, and it's emotionally affecting, and it's setting up so much of the story that we're going to tell. I am in awe of how you guys managed to do 9 things at once.
But everything's different now. Since we moved.
It's really economical. Well, and what the rest of your team talks about is how much time you put into story. Like, pre-production is everything.
It really is. I mean, and this tracking for the audience is a huge. Yeah, we've set up what a core memory does, and now you're seeing, well, what happens if they're wrong? You know? The worst thing for her. I mean, not wrong,
but different.
Not happy.
Yeah, we're not equipped to deal with change yet.
That's a core memory!
Stop it!
Wait!
Core memories!
And again, it's just visually doing so much.
Yeah.
And Joy, of course, assuming that sadness is a bad thing.
Yeah.
It has to be stopped. Not that sadness as a character is bad, but just like what she does is bad. So just stay in your little circle.
Thank you, Riley.
Yeah, and it's. By the way, yeah, it was nice to hear you say that there's so much going on visually. One of the lessons we always get from Andrew Stanton, you know, always says you should be able to look at these scenes with the sound off and understand them.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I feel like that scene would pass the test. You could kind of get what's going on just by the staging, the expressions. It's almost a silent movie, you know. There's a lot of storytelling in that scene. You have the setups of the core memories from the first act when you see what they are, and now, you know, Joy is putting her finger on the scale and kind of breaking the law a little bit of how things should work. We looked at the whole thing, and this scene is a really good example of the whole thing was looked at through the lens of being a parent. In a certain way, I think that was how we got the audience on board with Joy, because she's not doing a good thing here. She's preventing Riley from she's hurting Riley, really. She's steering her into this storm. But it was really tricky to make that work because there were versions of the movie where this scene made you completely turn off to Joy. You know, the audience was like, well, I don't want to, she hurt her kid, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that was delicate.
Well, and speaking to the sympathetic portrayal of Joy doing a hurtful thing, as a parent, most of the things that I do that I later regret come from a genuine place of caring about my kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's only with the hindsight of, oh, well, that came from a good place, but that actually did more damage.
Yeah.
And you see this as a theme through several Pixar films, including Turning Red, right? Where the mom is trying to take the wheel of her daughter's life because mother knows best, and she does it out of love, but she's doing more damage by saying to her daughter, I don't trust you, even if that's not what she's intending to say.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that's a gettable, relatable theme, specifically with this movie, which we always thought of, like I said, a parent-child relationship. And it was interesting to us that, you know, Joy and Riley are the key relationship in the movie, but they, you know, Riley doesn't know about Joy. They never meet.
Yeah.
My favorite scene in the movie is when she pulls the skating memory and they skate, you know. Joy is skating with Riley because that's the closest she can ever get to almost being with her, you know.
Is mimicking what's going on the screen of what Riley's doing. Yeah, for sure.
Jeez, we're 5 seconds in. Damn you, Pixar.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
It's a big help from Michael Giacchino here.
Yeah. No, I mean, the real secret weapon is Michael Giacchino on... It's,
No
what,
question.
Michael Giacchino, Thomas Newman, and Randy Newman for most of your stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I remember you saying in our first Inside Out video that he knows how to hold a note just a little too long to really get you to feel it.
Yep.
And it's
Yeah.
not too long, but it's longer than
It's
a lot of
not.
people would go.
Just there to lift you through.
Yeah.
I mean, this was just all about us thinking about what does it feel like to remember, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so beautifully done.
And that's the thing is the film is saying you need to stop and feel this, and that's what he's doing with his score. We're not going to rush through this. We're going to hold it. You're going to experience it, and it's going to be cathartic and beautiful.
I know you don't want me to, but I miss home. I miss Minnesota. You need me to be happy, but I want my old friends and my hockey team. I want to go home. Please don't be mad.
Oh, that question breaks my heart, that statement.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweetie.
We're not mad. You know what? I miss Minnesota too. I miss the woods where we took hikes,
And the backyard where you used to play.
Spring Lake where you learned to skate. Come here.
The specific animator that I need to just hug for 3 hours is who animated this next shot of Riley after Joy and Sadness get to touch the console here in a minute. This shot is one of the best pieces of animation I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really nice. And I got to think about who did that. That might have been Travis. I'm going to look that up. I don't remember offhand.
I mean, it was 10 years ago. I don't expect you to remember offhand, but like,
Well, and it's
whoever did
it's,
it was, I owe that person all the beers.
Is it just one person though?
Generally-
that was one person on Riley, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole scene, we were towards the end, so this scene got divided up. You'd be shocked with how many people were in there, because it does feel like one performance. And
I'm sure each shot was probably different animators throughout the sequence, right?
Yeah, and there might have even been someone on Mom, someone on Dad, and Riley, and then switching through shots.
Understood. Okay.
I always loved Mom and Dad in that with Spring Lake. They're trying so hard to be stoic.
Yeah.
And it's really beautifully animated.
It's an amazing bit of performance that, the best actors, like we pay actors millions of dollars to be able to put up a front and we can see through it to the true emotion. And your animators are doing it with pixels, man. Like,
I'll tell you, I'd put our animators up against any of the greats because they're some of the best actors in the world.
You got like 15, 20 Meryl Streeps in that building.
I swear to God, my take on why you love that shot so much, because that's the whole movie.
Yeah.
That shot is indicative of the entire movie, that she's come through, she's crying, and yet feeling this sense of joy and lightness in it. That is the movie. When you have a great animator, they can almost put a little 3-act play in every shot. And that shot sort of has that. And it's subtle. It barely moves. It's not much.
This scene encapsulates why I became a family therapist as opposed to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. And that's not a knock on those professions. Those people go into those professions for their legitimate reasons. But for me, we don't exist in a vacuum. We don't get hurt in a vacuum. We don't heal in a vacuum. It's all about the interplay. It's all about the relationships. And this family heals together.
Yep.
Right? Riley takes that step into vulnerability, and her parents, because vulnerability, sadly, isn't always rewarded, which is why we're scared to be vulnerable. That's why it's a risk.
Right. Well, and it's not in the first act of this film.
It's not.
Yeah, for Riley.
No. But when we recognize somebody's doing something brave and exposing their soul to us and saying, this is my most painful wound right now, and I'm sharing it with you, and I'm trusting you with it, and that is met with love and acceptance and joining, I miss Minnesota too. Right? You see Riley's relief that not only are they not mad, but they feel the same way. And the whole family's been trying to live in joy because they're trying to put on a happy face, right? And they realize that that's making things worse. Not that happiness is bad, but they need to grieve together in order to move forward. And that's how we navigate change, is we have to acknowledge that we've lost something that was precious to us. And that, sure, it'll always be part of us in terms of core memories or journal entries or home videos. And yet, life is different now. And we have to feel that gut punch, because that gut punch tells you that it mattered. Minnesota mattered. Our life there mattered. Those memories matter. In my case, I lost my mom. My mom matters to me, and that's why I get sad when I think of her, and it's also why I feel happy when I think of her, right? And it matters. This movie, to me, reminds me of why exactly I do what I do.
I suspect you'll never know how much that means to hear, to be honest.
By far the most common question that we got was, how were the 5 main emotions settled on? And I know there was a research phase. There is so much of this episode that we just couldn't fit into our YouTube edit. So if you want to see the answer to this question and an 1 and 15-minute long director's cut, go to our Patreon. You can get access to that extra long episode and our whole back catalog of director's cuts, psychology and filmmaking deep dives, a bunch of behind the scenes content, and our patrons on this episode got to ask the filmmakers at Pixar a bunch of questions. This was a patron question. If you want all of that, go to patreon.com/cinematherapy, sign up today. More Pixar. Damn you, Pixar.
But we're going to get some new ones in the second one. I'm not spoiling anything because that happens in the trailer.
That's right. Yeah, they're not alone in the second one. You'll see.
Well, thank you for producing some of the best movies we've ever seen. I'm saying that as a movie buff, but also as a pair of dads. Thank you for producing films that we watch with our kids that lead to meaningful discussions.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Well, that means a lot. I appreciate you guys and being on. I really do. That means a lot, and I've enjoyed this. So thank you for having me. And Joy thanks you too. There she is.
Thank you, Joy. So until next time.
Who's your friend who likes to play
Bing Bong, Bing Bong? His rocket makes you shout hooray! Bing Bong, Bing Bong! And watch movies.
In a theater if you can.
Agreed.
Kevin
is right.
Thank you to all of our wonderful patrons who support our show and get a bunch of exclusive bonus content. Folks like
Jessica Hopwell,
Emily Powers,
Sarah Robinson,
Ann Sanger,
Hannah.
Yep.
That's it. You're going to get, on this one, a super long director's cut.
Yeah.
Like 3 big interviews.
It's going to be beefy.
Like my brain.
I like like your heart. You have a beefy heart.
I do have a beefy heart.
Your brain's more tofu, but your heart is beef. Ooh!
Don't forget to click the link below and download June's Journey today. I don't know why I pointed down. It's not actually coming. It's coming sideways at best. It might be coming up, depending on where you are on the planet and where the server is in relation to your download June's Journey. It's good.
June's Journey. You could play it even if your brain is scrambled from filmmaking.